Hello everyone. Today we want to solve a trigonometric problem. This problem, we want to find the exact value of sine pi over 10. So we know pi over 10 is not those special angles such as pi over 4, pi over 3, or pi over 6. And if you convert the pi over 10 as degree, you know pi over 10 actually equals 18 degree. So 18 degree, and normally if we try to find something like this kind, we can use geometry to do this, use definition. But today what we try to do, we try to use the method, just algebraic method to find this. Okay, let's take a look here. First, sine pi over 10. Sine pi over 10. So we got a pi over 10. Okay, pi over 10 can be written as 5 pi over 10 minus 4 pi over 10. Okay, because 5 pi over 10 is pi over 2. Okay, so that's a special angle. But 4 pi over 10 is not a special angle. But we know that angle actually is 4 times of pi over 10. So we may consider use some special way to write pi over 10 in terms of pi over 10 there. Okay, so now what we have here, we can write the sine pi over 10 equal to sine and 5 pi over 10 minus 4 pi over 10. Okay, so here, this according to the cofunction identity. So here means this is pi over 2, cofunction identity. So that gives us a cosine 4 pi over 10. Okay, cosine 4 pi over 10, we can consider this as a cosine 2 times 2 pi over 10. Then I can apply the double angle formula for that thing here, which we can write this as 2 cosine square 2 pi over 10 minus 1. Okay. And for the 2 pi over 10 is a double angle of pi over 10. So which we can write this as 2 times cosine and 2 times pi over 10, and that's whole thing squared minus 1. Okay, and now this thing here, I can apply double angle formula. Okay, double angle formula. One more time. But since we want to find sine pi over 10, this time when I write double angle formula, I'm going to use sine to write this double angle formula. So which we have 2 times and 1 minus 2 sine pi over 10. Okay, squared minus 1. So now, and you can see we got an equation. We're going to rewrite this equation. Okay, so here sine pi over 10 equal to 2 times 1 minus 2 sine square pi over 10 square minus 1. So we have an equation. Now, if we call the sine pi over 10 as x, so here we let x equal to sine pi over 10. So then that equation is x equal to 2 times 1 minus 2x squared and squared minus 1. Okay, it becomes an algebraic equation. Instead of an equation like this, it's an algebraic equation. And we try to solve this algebraic equation, okay? And first we simplify. And so we're going to simplify that as 2 And squared, I think here I got 1 minus 4x squared plus 4x to the 4th. Okay, and minus 1. And further simplify, we're going to get in 2 minus 8x squared plus 8x to the 4th minus 1 equal to x. Okay, so finally we're going to rewrite this equation. So we move x to the other side and combine 2 and a negative 1. So we rewrite that equation. We can easily tell this is 8x to the 4th minus 8x squared and minus x and plus 1 equal to 0. That's what we got here. Now, all I need to find what is the solution of this polynomial equation. And from here, actually it's pretty easy to tell. Okay, so you can see I can factor this. Okay, you see I got 8x to the 4th, 8x squared, x minus x plus 1 there, minus x plus 1. And we can do the so grouping factor. Okay, so we got group factor. We factor this 2 term by 8x squared. So you notice you're going to have x squared minus 1 left. That's the good thing here, because you know according to the difference of 2 squares, that's going to have a factor of x minus 1. So we minus, and this one I get x minus 1 equal to 0. And which we can write as 8x squared x minus 1 x plus 1 minus x minus 1 equal to 0. Go ahead to factor x minus 1, x minus 1. So I have x minus 1 factored. I got 8x squared times x plus 1 minus 1 equal to 0. And which, okay, simplify. X minus 1, 8x cubed plus 8x squared minus 1 equal to 0. So that basically tells us either x minus 1 equal to 0 or this equal to 0. But we know x minus 1 cannot be equal to 0 because x minus 1, which x is sine pi over 10. Okay, sine pi over 10 cannot be equal to 1. Therefore, only this can be 0. Okay, so since sine pi over 10, which is x, is not equal to 1. So therefore, we can only get 8x cubed plus 8x squared minus 1 equal to 0, which means now we need to solve this equation to get a solution. Okay, because we know sine pi over 10 cannot be equal to 1. Okay, because we know sine pi over 2 equal to 1. So therefore, we're going to solve this equation. To solve this equation, and right now it seems a little bit difficult to see if I can factor this. But okay, so here, in order to solve this equation, actually I want you to quickly review something called rational zero theorem. Okay, and so take a look what we have here. It says if a polynomial function written in descending order of the exponents has integer coefficients, then any rational zero must be of the form of p divided by q, where p is a factor of a constant term, q is a factor of the leading coefficients. So for our case means this is 8, that's the leading coefficient. And that's why it's -1, okay, -1. So this 8 factor, you can see this is 1, 2, 4, 8. 8 factor is 1, 2, 4, 8. Of course, it can be positive and negative, okay? And a -1, that one's okay, factor can only be plus minus 1 there. So therefore, what we have here, the possible zeros can be plus minus 1, plus minus 1/2, plus minus 1/4, plus minus 1/8. We already know 1 is not a 0, obviously you can tell. 8 plus 8 minus 1 is not 0. Negative 1, same thing, is not 0. Okay, so now we try to look here if it's 1/2. When we get 1/2 here, you can see I got 8 times 1/2 to the third plus 8 times 1/2, okay, square minus 1. And you can see this one and is bigger than 0. So it's not equal to 0. Pretty easy because this is 1. This cancelled. This give you 2. Then we try negative 1. Negative 1/2. 8 negative 1/2 cube plus 8 negative 1/2 square minus 1. So this give us negative 1. This is a positive 1/4. 8 divided by multiply 1/4, which is 2. Then minus 1 equal to 0. So you know negative 1/2 is, okay, negative 1/2 is a 0. It's a 0 of this, okay? And so here, negative 1/2 is a 0. So according to what we know, the equivalent statement means x plus 1/2 is a factor. Okay, and so which could consider, and if you consider this is a factor, of course, and what you have here, that means 8x cubed plus 8 squared minus 1 equal to 0. So here, if I use so-called the synthetic division, I got 8, okay, 0, negative 1, and negative 1/2. And so here I have 8 times 1/2 is negative 4, add together is a positive 4, 4 times negative 1/2, which is negative 2, and to add together is negative 2. Negative 2, negative 1/2 is a positive 1, that's give us 0 there. Okay, so what we have here basically means when this, okay, divided by x plus 1/2, okay, the quotient is 8x squared plus 4x minus 2. So which we have this 8x cubed plus 8x squared minus 1 can be written as 8x squared plus 4x minus 2 times x plus 1/2. Okay, so that's what we have. And so now we know this is a 0 there, okay? But also we know this x for us, this x cannot be sine pi over 10 because sine pi over 10 cannot be a negative number, okay? So which means we're going to further consider solve this equation. Further consider solve this equation. 8x squared plus 4x minus 2, so which is 8x squared plus 4x minus 2 and equal to 0. Or say that's equivalent of both sides divided by 2, 4x squared plus 2x minus 1 equal to 0. And therefore, I'm going to just go ahead and use quadratic formula to solve this quadratic equation. X equal to 2 times 4 and negative 2 plus minus 2 squared minus 4 times negative 1. And that gives us 8 negative 2 plus minus and 4 plus 16, which is square root 20. So that means we got x either equals -2 plus square root of 20. Notice square root of 20 is a 2 square root of 5. Okay, 2 square root of 5 divided by 8, or x equal to -2 minus 2 square root of 5 divided by 8. And which we can simplify. We get 4 -1 plus square root of 5, or x equal to -1 minus square root of 5 divided by 4. And as we mentioned, because sine pi over 10 must be a positive number if you consider this is acute angle for a triangle, so which means, and that tells us, okay, that's got to be a positive value, but we know this one is negative. So sine pi over 10 cannot be this number, must be this number. So therefore, we find sine pi over 10 equals -1 plus square root of 5 divided by 4. So that's the end of this problem. It's a little bit long.